We begin with breaking news. CBC News confirming that several COVID-19 emergency measures at the border will end at the end of this month. The CBC's Karina Roman is tracking developments. So, Karina, a big change. There have been talk about this for a couple of days now. What is, in fact, changing, though?
Well, senior government sources told CBC that the Prime Minister has now signed off on what has been rumored basically all week to drop the vaccine requirement for people entering Canada, to end random COVID testing at airports, and to make the use of the ArriveCan app optional. Now, all these measures have been talked about, especially in the last couple of weeks, because there have been so much speculation and rumors and sources saying that these were on their way out. But now we are having sources tell us that the Prime Minister has signed off on these. So that would be, as of September 30th, no longer required, which is a huge change if it goes ahead. And we're expecting an announcement perhaps as early as Monday to make that official. What has not been dropped yet and still being discussed is the requirement for masks on federal transport like planes and trains. That has not been signed off on. I, at this point, don't know what the hesitation is on that, except that, of course, you know, a lot of people say if you're going to lose these other restrictions, that masks still are effective at reducing transmission, and perhaps that's something the government wants to hold on to as a requirement just until they see how things go after the other restrictions are lifted. But you know, we will see, I guess, next week when they make a final decision on that.
So what reaction so far has there been from the travel industry?
Well, already the tourism industry has said they're heartened by these media reports. Obviously, it's been something they've lobbied for months now, especially before even the heightened summer travel season is when there was a real push. And we were just discussing earlier this week about the open letter from border town mayors and MPs and mayors from both sides of the border, the U.S. as well, really calling for the lifting of these restrictions, saying how much they've impacted travel, especially across the land border, really basically convincing a lot of Americans not to bother coming to Canada because of the rigmarole they'd have to go through, whether it was a random test or using the ArriveCan app. And so obviously those mayors are likely welcoming the news as well, though I've not seen an updated letter from them. And, you know, the government had pumped millions of dollars into trying to resurrect the tourism industry, which was so hard hit by the pandemic. So really, you know, they were fighting against, in a way, all this money was fighting against these restrictions that were still holding people back. So it'll be interesting to see as we head into fall, which is perhaps not as big a travel season, but then, of course, getting into the holiday season at the end of December, whether that'll make a difference for the tourism industry.
All right, Karina, thank you. The CBC's Karina Roman, live in Ottawa.